everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we're making sticker sheets. So this has been one of my most highly requested videos pretty much ever since I filmed my how I make single stickers. I remember when I first started making sticker sheets, I wasted so much paper. It was one of the harder things for me to learn how to make. So hopefully if you are wanting to make sticker sheets that you find this video helpful, whether you're making them for fun or for your small business. So let's go ahead and move over to my iPad and I'll show you how I set up my illustration for printing and cutting. Okay, here's the sticker sheet that we're going to be making in today's video. It is springtime, and my initial plan was to draw this on camera with you guys, but honestly, I'm glad I ended up not doing that. We would have been here all weekend. It took me all week to illustrate this sticker sheet, but I just designed a bunch of little things that remind me of spring. So first things first is the canvas size. Of course, you can make your sticker sheet whatever size that you want, but most of mine are around 8 by 10 inches. And I find that this is a pretty good size to have two sticker sheets side by side on the canvas or on the Cricut mat. Of course, the sticker sheet is not going to actually be 8 by 10 inches. I just find this is a good starting point and the pixels and stuff look good once it's printed. But here we are, blank canvas. The first thing I do is add my border and then whatever theme my sticker sheet is going to be. This gives me an idea of where to actually start sketching, which is the next step. I will sometimes change the layout depending on how things turn out once I actually start adding the colors, but this really gives me a good idea of what layout is going to work. Next, I will add a layer underneath my sketch layer and start actually adding the designs. And usually I kind of change them up as I go just to help make it cohesive and make sure all of the colors kind of tie in together. After that, I will go in and just add a bunch of little illustrations in the background to help fill up the sticker sheet. And I think it looks pretty cute. Okay, now I'm ready to actually prepare it for Cricut. I'm going to create a layer underneath my main design layer, take a dark shade, I usually just use black, then a brush with a high stabilization. I'm going to be using Jing Paint's Fill Outline Sharp brush. Then I'm going to go underneath every single one of my designs and basically create like a sticker border. This is going to end up being our cut layer in Cricut. And I will move it to the front, but I just feel like doing it underneath each sticker makes it easier to actually make sure that that border is going to fill every design and the cuts won't end up being off. This is actually one of my favorite parts of making stickers. I just feel like adding the sticker outline is it's like satisfying and kind of therapeutic. I don't know, I really enjoy this part, but I went ahead and sped it up for you guys. That way we weren't here all day watching me add these sticker borders. Okay, once I'm done with all of the borders, I'm going to turn off the illustration layer so I can see each one and then go in and make sure they are all filled. I always actually zoom in really close as well because sometimes you'll have these small little white spots like that one right there that you want to make sure are filled. Once that's done, I'm going to group all of my illustration layers and my border, all of those together, because those are going to be saved as one PNG, and then I can turn off all of those whenever I save my cut layer as a separate PNG. Okay, so this is a step that I used to not do, and now I always do it because it makes it a lot easier to make sure all of your cut layers are lined up. So I'm gonna create some really thin, like rectangle pieces on every edge of the sticker sheet on the same layer as the cut layer. So just go ahead and do it in black and fill little tiny sections like this on the edges. This is to make sure whenever we add both layers to Cricut, we can easily line them up and reduce the risk of having miscuts. And the last step is to go ahead and save both as separate PNGs. So your illustration layer with your background and everything. And then you're gonna go in and turn all of those off. Make sure you turn your background color off as well. And then save that cut layer as a PNG. I'm going to open up my Cricut software on my iPad because if you didn't know, you can upload all of your designs straight to the iPad app, and then when you go to your computer, it will all be saved in there as long as you're signed in and save each design. So I'm going to create a new canvas and upload both the sticker sheet illustration layer and the cut layer, and you can go ahead and name these whatever you want. I'm going to take the illustration layer and just size it down and then move it so it is horizontal and kind of just shove it up in the top left corner, and do the same with the cut layer. So here is why I added those black lines on the edges. If you notice, whenever you are using the iPad Cricut software, it has this snapping feature. You'll see like the little purple lines popping up. This is to make sure that those cut border designs are perfectly aligned with the design underneath. This is something that I used to not do, and I always had miscuts. So if you have a problem with miscuts, I highly recommend doing this. And we are going to go in and remove those lines so we won't have to worry about them whenever we are actually cutting our sticker sheets. Next thing I do is add a kind of like a background guide to my sticker sheet, just so whenever the Cricut is cutting the sheets out, I don't risk it cutting any of my actual designs and getting too close. So I'm going to move this to the very bottom, and then I will end up turning it white and flattening it with the design layers. But I'm just making sure there's a slight border around all of the sticker sheets. We can go ahead and unattach all of the designs, move the two cut layers to be next to each other, and then, like I said, we're going to turn that background layer white, and then turn off the two cut layers and flatten the two illustration layers and the background. I know I keep saying layers a lot. Hopefully, if what I'm saying is not making sense, hopefully visually it is. Okay, once that is done, it's time to remove those black lines. So all you have to do is select one of those cut layers, click Actions, Contour, and then you can actually click, because it has each one of those black images as a separate contour. So you can actually turn them off and on. So I'm just turning off the lines. Then I can go in and attach both of the cut layers and have them as kind of like one group and the design and the background as another group. Something that I almost forgot to do is to make sure your cut layers are as basic cut. If you leave them as print and cut, it will actually print those black images on your sticker sheet and completely ruin the whole thing. So don't forget to make those basic cut. Once you're done with all of that, we can attach all of the layers and then go ahead and save it. And like I said, if you save your design on the iPad software, it will automatically save to your computer software as well. So we can move over there and go ahead and get this ready for printing and cutting. Okay, I'm ready to print the sticker sheets. So I'm gonna be using my all-time favorite sticker paper. This is the J&J packaging. I use this one for glossy and matte stickers, and it just prints beautifully, especially with my inkjet printer, and it cuts really well, and it's a little bit thicker, which I prefer. Just makes the stickers feel a little more durable. But of course, you can use whatever brand of sticker paper you would like, but this is definitely my favorite. I've tried a lot of different sticker papers from different brands, and nothing has beat this one quite yet. So let's go ahead and print the sticker sheets and then start cutting and see how they turn out. So here is the sticker sheet. It is all printed, so now I just need to run it through the cutting machine. So one of the main reasons why I just use matte sticker paper, and if you're familiar with the Cricut and using glossy paper, then you know it is a struggle. It can get very annoying. So it's so much easier to just use matte because you don't have to worry about the Cricut being blinded by the glossy sticker paper. I can just simply run this through and not have any problems. Another thing that I don't bother doing with my sticker sheets is laminating. So I market these just for journaling, planners, scrapbooking. So there's no need for them to be water resistant or waterproof. Of course, if you want to laminate yours, you are more than welcome to give it a try. I've never even attempted to laminate sticker sheets. I just worry that with such intricate cuts, if the laminate would hold up. But like I said, if you want to try it, definitely go for it. But I prefer to just stick with matte sticker paper. And I think it just looks really pretty and soft, especially with this spring sticker sheets. I don't know, I just think it's looking really cute. So let's go ahead and cut it. You want to make sure you're putting it on your mat the right side up. So we have the butterfly in the top left corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and just stick it to my mat. And my mat is no longer very sticky, so I am gonna add a little bit of tape on the corners just to make sure the sticker paper holds down and it's not moving around whenever it's being cut. So let me grab my tape. Where did I put that? Oh, over here. So I just use matte scotch tape. I also use this when I am making glossy stickers to cover the registration lines and then Sharpie over. But like I said, I'm just gonna add a little bit on the top and the bottom and maybe the right corner just to make sure it stays on the mat. Alrighty, ready to run it through the Cricut and cross our fingers that there will be no miscuts and it will work. So whenever I first started making stickers, sticker sheets were the most difficult for me. I wasted so much paper trying to figure out how to make stickers. And the method that I use might not be the easiest, but it is what I found works. So I'm gonna go ahead and run this through my Cricut. The cut settings are really going to vary on your sticker paper, your blade, if you laminate, if you're using glossy or matte or clear. There's a lot of factors that go into deciding what cut setting to use. I'm going to run this through on vinyl. I am using a deep cut blade because for some reason my fine point blade just kind of quit working even though I switched it to a new one. So I have been using the deep cut blade. So I'm gonna run this through vinyl and cross my fingers it works. Otherwise, we can always go back in and make a new one and do some adjustments. I get asked all the time why I do not have the Cricut actually cut the full sticker sheet out. To be honest, I've never tried. I don't really mind using a paper trimmer and then a corner rounder to do it. Plus, that limits any extra miscuts. So that's what I'll be doing. Of course, if you want to have your cutting machine fully cut the sticker sheet out, you definitely can do that. I think you just like duplicate the back layer multiple times. I'm not entirely sure, but if you know how to do it, definitely leave a comment down in the description so other people, if they would like to do that, they can check out your comment. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. And if you decide to follow this tutorial, don't forget to tag me on social media. I would love to see the sticker sheets that you make. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Bye.